Alright, my lovely home program people. Hope we're all excited for the next 8 weeks. It's going to be hard work, but hopefully it's going to be something that you can carry on through into the rest of your life. So I don't want this 8 weeks to just be an 8 weeks focused where you get a bit trimmer, you feel a bit better, you get a bit fitter, and you're like, woo, brilliant, and then the 8 weeks finishes and you all go smash pizzas for the next 8 weeks, and then you're back to square one again. What I really want this to do is kind of like change the way you think about health and fitness within your life, and hopefully you'll be a little bit fitter, a little bit happier, and you'll be able to kind of like manage this throughout your life rather than just this 8 weeks. I want it to be a sort of continuous thing that you can understand. You can always come back to, but you can kind of like change your thinking and change the way you kind of live for better, for happier, healthier life moving forward, and that's what we want. So what is this video about? This video is about nutrition, right? Now, nutrition is the absolute base of everything we do. I want you to almost think about this next 8 weeks as nutrition plus exercise. Nutrition is the bottom, right? It's the base of everything we do. If you think about your house and the way it's built, the foundation's the bottom, the very most important bit of your house, that's nutrition. We need that to be as strong as possible so that everything else on top is really, really good. So if our nutrition's good, our fitness is going to be good, our health and well-being is going to be good, right? That's what we want, that's what we need. Without that, you're going to have to do a hell of a lot of training to look the way you want to look. And also, you're not really going to be as happy. And you're not going to be as healthy. And you're not going to have the nutrients you need to do the exercise. So it's a bit of it's a holistic thing. It all comes in together. But right at the bottom is nutrition. That's why it's super important. I need you guys to understand that. Without that nutrition, without eating the way I'm telling you to eat, you are not going to achieve what we're trying to achieve, yeah? You're not going to achieve that body composition you want. You're not going to achieve that happy, healthier version of yourself. So, what do I mean by nutrition? What do I mean by, like, the way you should be eating? So, you'll see a lot of people, like, will appear and, like, flash out a lot of videos and a lot of stuff with like a lot of gimmicks, and they'll be like, hey, you know, in 2 weeks time you can lose a stone. All you have to do is drink aloe vera gel for like the next freaking 14 days or whatever and eat tarragon. Much as those things work and are brilliant, that's not sustainable for the rest of your life. And even if you do like 2 weeks of your aloe vera and tarragon bullshit, and then you come down and you eat pizza for the next 2 weeks, and then you go back on, you know, it's all a bit of a yo-yo. And also, you're not going to feel good while you're doing those things, trust me. Like, you're not getting any nutrients through that. You're not leading a happy, healthy lifestyle. So all these yo-yo diets, kind of pointless. And all these restrictive diets, particularly like your Weight Watchers and stuff like that, where they're like, hey, don't eat that because it's a sin. Absolutely hate that. Nothing is a sin, people. Like, sin is like adultery and murder, right? It's not eating a cake. It's just not. So, what do I mean by good nutrition? So you hear a lot of people talk about like carbs and how carbs are bad. Got a newsflash for you people. Carbs are in everything you eat. If you eat a steak, it's got some carbs in it, people. It's not got loads, but it's got some carbs in it. There's not no carb. There's not a no carb diet. It just doesn't fucking exist. If it does, it's not eating. It's just air. So there is some truth though in the kind of whole carb thing, right? So if you present yourself a meal and you're like, right, we're going to have some pasta with this meal. Most people go, pasta with a meal? Well, they just fill their entire bowl with pasta, put the sauce on top of it, and whack a bit of meat in there, and they're like, wow, brilliant, like chicken pasta, bake, whatever. Well, that's not a balanced meal. That's a mass amount of complex carbs and a little bit of protein and very little kind of like vegetable content. Now, vegetables do have carbs in them, which is why I want you to consume a decent amount of vegetables, but what we're going to try and do is cut back on those simple, refined, almost dirty carbs, right? So let's say you get up in the morning. I'll use breakfast as my best example. So let's say you get up in the morning and you smash some feckin' Cocoa Pops, right? Number one, are you a child? Cocoa Pops? What? Anyway, you smash your Cocoa Pops, you're like, brilliant, feel great, and you're off to work, right? Now, there's a certain amount of sugar in that, and there's a certain amount of, like, very basic carbs in that, yeah? And the basic carbs and the sugar are the problem. So what they do is they fill you up, right? So they spike you. You're like, up here, you've got a big amount of energy, and you're like, great, I'm ready for the day. But once you've hit that peak, you come back down with an absolute almighty whoa, right? You smash down to the ground. So by like 10:30, you're like, oh God, I need some more food. And because your body's already had that spike from that sugar and that simple carbs, you're like, oh, I need some more of that. So you go and get more of that. So you eat some sweets or some chocolate or some rubbish that kind of like gets you through until lunch. And then because you've taken that high rise and that dip again, you've eaten the same thing again for your lunch. So you're eating some like sandwiches with a like load of rubbish in them, and the bread, it's not like wholemeal bread or anything like that, is it? It's white bread. You're like smashing the sandwiches, smashing some crisps. You eat a chocolate bar and a can of Coke or something like that. And again, you're spiking that carbs and you're spiking that sugar, and then hammering back down again. If you've noticed, by the time you got through all of this till lunchtime, I've barely mentioned the vegetable, right? Because you've eaten all that rubbish to start with, and your body isn't like adapting at any point. So again, the same thing happens in the afternoon. You get to 3:30 and you're like, oh God, I need something. So you go and you get yourself a treat, and you eat that. So you've eaten some cake or something like that. Again, spike yourself back up again. You're like, oh, I'm all right now. And then you hit back down again. You get to lunchtime and you're like, sorry, tea time. And then you're like, oh, fish and chips, smash that. So you eat your fish and chips. And again, you've spiked that simple carb thing with the chips and the batter and all that business. And then eventually you have like sort of like a fucking 9 o'clock snack, and then you go to bed, right? And the entire time you're doing this, you're consuming a massive amount of calories. And that's not helping. So when people say carbs are bad, carbs don't have more calories in them. It just means that you end up eating more of them. And I'm talking about carbs that are simple, that are a bit naff, right? Carbs that give you that short spike, but then push you back down again. So now I'm going to give you an example of like a decent day and how that should look. So you get up in the morning and you're still going for some cereal, you're still going for some carbs, but what we're going to do is we're going to balance it out a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some porridge, but you're not going to have one of them doobly little sachets that you get from like Quaker Oats or whatever that have got 10 grams of fucking sugar in them. You're not going to eat them. You're going to have a normal bag of porridge, just a standard Scottish porridge oats, and you're going to take what is a standard size. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about standard sizes in a bit, but a standard size for porridge is 40 grams worth of porridge, right, people? It's not 100, yeah? So, you're going to put your 40 grams worth of porridge in a bowl, and then you're going to stick a scoop of protein powder in there, so you're getting some protein, you're getting some carbs, and then you're going to stick some full-fat milk in there. People are like, full-fat milk? You must be crazy! Not crazy. Fats aren't bad, people. Don't cry about it. And then you're going to mix all that up, stick it in the microwave, boom, 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 eat that, lovely jubbly. People, protein powder, you get a flavoured protein powder, helps it taste nicer. If you really, really love chocolate, get a chocolate protein powder, it's not going to fucking kill you. And then you'll have some chocolate porridge in the morning, it's just like your Cocoa Pops, right? Now that is going to fill you for a lot longer. And the reason it's going to fill you for a lot longer is because those carbs in there, the oats, they're a bit more complex and they're harder for your body to break down. So it takes them longer. And the reason it takes them longer is because, like I say, they're more complex. And it keeps you fuller for longer. So your body breaks down and uses all of those things over a lot longer period. So it should last you through till lunch, right? Eating that porridge. And because you've chucked the protein in there as well, and some fats, that's a little bit more calories, a little bit more difficult stuff to break down. Like protein isn't as easy to break down. So it's going to last you a little bit longer and hopefully see you right through till lunch, right? You've heard there's some sort of advert that's like, see you right through till lunch, that's what I sound like, but that's what it'll do, right? Eating that's going to help you through till lunch. Then you get to lunchtime. Now, you could ruin it all at lunchtime and eat, like I say, the sandwich and the crisps and the pasta and the blah, blah, blah. But you're not going to do that. What you're going to do is go, what else can I have? Like for my lunch, what's a good medium? Now, I have the same thing every day for my lunch and everybody goes, oh, it's boring. I really, really like it, so I don't really care. But you can mix it up. It's not going to be a bad thing. So what you could do is have for your lunch is what I have, which is a bit chilly, right? And on a Sunday night, I make a massive chilli and I have that through the week. But you don't have to do that. But chili is really, really high in protein. You can stick whatever vegetables you want in there, and it's going to see you through a little bit more. And you can stick some carbs with that, but again, you're going to go for something a bit more complex. So you could stick a lot of pasta with that chili. I wouldn't do that, people. What you're going to do is you're going to stick some sweet potato or something like that with it. It's going to help you get through, or just bulk it out with a load of veg. There's nothing wrong with veg. So you're going to put all that in there, nice, healthy portion of chili for your lunch. And again, load of protein, some carbs, a lot of vegetables, a lot of nutrients. Again, harder to break down, so it's going to give you a little bit longer. It's going to keep you going until you get to tea time. And then when you get to tea time, you can again make that good choice, right? So let's say you have some chicken, wrap it in bacon, because bacon is life. And you have a load of vegetables with that, and then maybe you have some sweet potato mash as well, right? That's your tea, boom, sorted. With regards to snacks, what I would do is, I tend to avoid snacks, but if you're going to have snacks, make it fruit, make it nuts, something like that. Again, something that's going to last you a little bit longer than what a chocolate bar will, right? Because a chocolate bar, again, gives you that spike, puts you back down, and you'll need another one in an hour's time. That's not what we're going to be doing, because there's an excessive amount of calories in a chocolate bar. Now, this system of eating, that way of eating, thinking a little bit more, taking a little bit more time to kind of like think about what we're eating, that needs to be something we can do every day. So in the email, I'm going to send you a couple of options for like the 3 different meals. However, if you think of some of your own, and you're like, oh, is this healthy? I don't know. Like, send me it, and I'll tell you. And I'll tell you alternatives and things you can swap out. All right? So, that's the way I kind of, like, want you guys to adapt, and I want you to eat, and I want you to understand. Now, I've said this to some of you guys already. I don't want you to be like, pizza's bad, we're all going to die. That's not how it works, okay? So, for the purposes of this 8 weeks, if you can all stick to that way of eating all day, every day for the 8 weeks, fucking fab, like that's ideal, that's what I really want. However, I understand that life doesn't really work like that. So if 4 weeks in, you're like, just want to eat a pizza and have a bar of chocolate, tell you what, Saturday night, get your partner in, sit yourselves down, order a pizza, have a bar of chocolate. Next day, pick it back up, right back on it, eating well again. Trust me, it's not going to kill you, you're not going to die, everything isn't going to go to shit because of that. The purposes of eating this way and understanding how that works is that eventually you want to be able to go on a week holiday or 2 week holiday. Let's say you go to fucking Centre Parks for a week and all you do is eat breakfast at the Pancake House every morning and smash pizzas, smash burgers. Like, you don't eat well, right? But the point is, for the 6 months before that, you ate really, really well, right? You looked after yourself, you ate healthy, you had a good amount of nutrition throughout your day, you ate a good varied amount of food, lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of protein, you were all good. When you go to the pool with your kid, you're going to be wearing a bikini, people, or some lovely short shorts, and you're going to look amazing, right? And for them 2 weeks, you're going to be eating shit, and everybody's going to be looking at you going, look at it, look at him, look at him. Like, they're just, how are they doing that? How are they eating that? And it's because they've sorted their nutrition out before and after, right? So I'm not saying you can't go on your 2 weeks and have a good time, yeah? I do it. I definitely do it. Go away with my wife and I'll absolutely smash horrendous food. And I love it because I really, really like food, yeah? But as soon as I get back, reset, get myself back into the old routine, get myself eating proper food, yeah? And that's what you need to do. And that's what I kind of want for you guys, nutritional-wise, moving forward, yeah? So these treats that will come along every so often, people call them cheat meals and stuff. I don't like to call them cheat meals because I think, like, you're not, you know, it's not adultery. You're not, like, cheating on anybody. All you're doing is just eating some different food. But what we want to do is we want to be able to reset, yeah? So we want to be able to go and have that bad week and then, bang, straight back on it, eating well, understanding what we're doing, understanding what we're intaking. Now, before I did mention calories and how they work. So, essentially, you need to be in a calorie deficit, right, to lose weight or to lose fat. I don't like saying lose weight because the way the government kind of like measures your weight is on your BMI. Now, if I go to doctors and the doctor does my BMI and works it all out, The doctor will tell me that I'm overweight, but I know that I can run a mile in under 7 minutes, and I can lift double my body weight off the floor. I'm not unfit, people. I'm not unhealthy. I know that because I worked really, really hard on it. So I think your weight is a bit of a kind of like, it's a misinterpretation of your health. If you were told, hey, you're going to weigh 100 kilos for the rest of your life, but you'll look exactly how you want to look, you wouldn't really give a crap about the weight, right? You wouldn't care about that number. The only reason you care about that number is because someone's told you that you need to care about that number. So by all means, at the beginning of this 8 weeks, step on the scales, fabulous, look at your weight, and then look at the end. I guarantee you it's probably going to come down, right? But not ideally what you want, right? I don't want you all posting, hey, I weighed 12 stone at the beginning and now I weigh 8 stone, fabulous, I've smashed it, right? Yeah, you've done great, and losing weight is probably going to be a result of what we're doing, but weight isn't all things to all people, so don't worry if in a week you haven't lost anything. It's not, doesn't really matter. What matters is what's in front of you in the mirror and how you feel, yeah? Anyway, calories. So, the way your body works, and you'll have heard it before, there's 1,000 people out there, calories in, calories out, right? It's a thing, it exists, it's science. So, you got to think of yourself as almost like a little machine. If you put the right amount in and the right amount out, it's going to balance out. If not, you're going to lose or gain, right? That's how it's going to work. So if you eat more calories than you're burning out, then you're going to gain weight. If you lose more calories than you're burning out, you're going to lose weight. Simple, right? And that's what I need you to think about moving forward. You need to think about the portions of the food you're eating as well. So although we want to like be having a lot of veg, be having a lot of meat, and working that in there, notice when I said the porridge, I said 40 grams of porridge, right? That's what it says on the packet. I'm not like just pulling that out of thin air. That's what it says on the packet. It's really, really simple. Just read it and do it. The same with like if you're having, so rice is a bit of a dodgy one. I would say have rice, but don't go mental with it. And the reason I'll say that is because if you look on like, so one of the microwave packets of rice, right? Super easy. You can look at it and you can go, amazing. Just chuck this in the microwave, 2 minutes, boom. Can mix that with some other stuff, great meal. Nothing wrong with rice, there isn't. It's a complex carbs, it's good. But that one packet of rice, half of that is one portion, right? So you're not meant to have the full packet. So just bear that in mind when you're eating stuff, like have a look. How many grams of this does it say is like a portion? And that's what you should be really sticking to when we're eating. I know it sounds ridiculous, but just have a little look before you eat something. Figure out like how much of this am I having in my meal. It's a good piece of advice that definitely has worked for me in the past. One final thing I would say about your nutrition. Jesus, a long video, nearly 20 minutes, people. One final thing I would say about your nutrition is, right, don't look at other people. Don't look at them too much, because other people are doing different things. They have different goals, different arrangements, right? So, my client, Abby, obviously, Abby's like my golden girl. She does everything I say, so she looks the way she looks because I made her look that way, right? I gave her the advice, I gave her the guidance, and she followed it, and that's why it worked, right? Now, I tell Abby to eat and train completely different to what I do, yeah? Because I train 6 days a week and I do multiple things. I'm a very like active person, so I definitely eat more calories than Abby, and I definitely eat more like varied foods than what Abby does. But Abby works out 3 times a week, sometimes 2. So she has to eat a certain way to get where she wants to be. She doesn't restrict herself massively. She eats good food, but she's not eating what I'm eating. Does that make sense? So you might look at all these guys on the internet, half of whom are on steroids, by the way, so don't get too hung up on them, and think, oh, flipping heck, like, he's eating all of this food, he's eating 5 meals a day, and he looks amazing. That's because he's a bodybuilder, and he's hammering the gym 3 hours a day, and all of those meals macronutriented to the absolute nth degree, right? That's not what I want you to do. I definitely don't want you guys to start having to like flipping track your food, right? I might ask you in the coming weeks to write me down what you've eaten in a day or 2 days, something like that, right? But realistically, that's to see if you're eating the right things, yeah? I don't want you to weigh it out, and I don't want you to worry too much about, like, macronutrients and stuff. What I would say, a lot of veg, decent amount of protein, limit your carbs, and I'm talking complex carbs. I'm not talking general carbs, right? If you eat a meal that's like salmon with like a shed load of veg and some like carrot and sweet potato mash on the side, that's a good meal, yeah? And it's got carbs and it's got nutrients and it's got all the good stuff. Don't worry about it. Also, cheese. For God's sake, eat cheese, people. Put some cheese on it, right? There's nothing wrong with cheese. I'm not saying eat an entire block of cheese because that's mental. But I'm saying there's nothing really wrong with cheese, yeah? Unless you're allergic to dairy or you've got like a lactose intolerance or something. Eat cheese, people. Like, if you've got some chicken and you think it's going to taste a bit boring, put some Nando's sauce on it, people. I'm not against flavouring things up a little bit so that they're bearable to eat, yeah? Just don't put a shed load of sugar on top of it or something like that. Alright, people, so that's kind of like an overview of nutrition. I know I've thrown a lot at you there. I am going to put a little kind of like down below in your email a little bit of like example meals and stuff like that, and try and condense this down a bit, although it's going to be kind of difficult because it's kind of long. If you have any questions, ask them. If you have any meals that you're like, is this good? I don't know if this is a good meal. Throw it at me. Tell me about it, because I can change it. I can switch it up if it's something you like. If you have any special like dietary requirements, like let's say you can't have certain things, I can definitely give you things to switch out. What we're trying to do here, again, like I say, switch the way you think, switch the way you do things for the rest of your life, not just for this 8 weeks, yeah? I want you to knuckle down for this 8 weeks, but after this, I want you to be able to kind of like, to do that whole thing, to go on that holiday and enjoy yourself, and then come back and reset and be able to be happy with that. The biggest thing I've got from doing fitness and eating well, and from understanding how nutrition works, is that I am able to have a good time in my life now, yeah? So there was a time where I would go on holiday with my buddies, and I would continue eating super strict, super healthy, and I was kind of like boring, right? Now I can go on holiday with my mates, I can eat whatever the hell I want, come back, I know I'm going to fix it again, I know my nutrition is going to be right back where it was, and we're all going to be good, yeah? And that's what we're trying to do, that's the end goal, that's the aim for this. Like I say, any questions, fling them at me. I'm always around to answer them. Chuck them in the Facebook group, which I'm going to create. And then let's get hammering on this 8 weeks, people. Let's absolutely fucking smash it.